Okay, that didn't work.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Vivid Earth. Today, I've got Kerry Cassidy back on the show, and we're going to be talking about what's happening in the world. I think Kerry needs no introduction. I've had her twice on the channel before, so you should already be very familiar with Kerry, and she is one of the OGs of the sort of investigative journalist, conspiracy, truth movement, having started almost 20 years ago on the road of trying to uncover the truth. So it's always good to connect with Kerry. She's extremely thorough with her research, so it always brings incredible information and whistleblower accounts to us. So welcome, Kerry.
Thank you. Actually away from home, so I know I have this sort of fake background type thing going on. So I hope that's okay. And I normally live in California. So right now I'm in the UK. I'm here for my conference, a yearly conference I do in England, London area, called Awake and Aware. And so we're going to do that this weekend. And so I fly in slightly early to get over jet lag, and which is absolutely mandatory in my case. And so, yes, so that's why I'm here and in travel mode, you might say.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us despite being on the road, so to speak. We'd love to find out more about your conference, and hopefully we'll see some of that online. You've been doing that for a while. I mentioned to you, I just watched a clip from your last conference the other day, and you were speaking about Dr. Jan Halper Hayes. I actually had her on the channel a couple of weeks ago, and it's just so incredible to see actually how far we've come, and actually how far we still have to go, because disclosure is kind of still being dripped through, and it is sort of increasing in speed, so to speak, but not as fast as many of us would like it to be. So we have to exercise extreme patience, and I think all of us just want to see all the truth just laid out on the table now. But for some reason, they're still holding back a little bit, whether it's a threat of some sort of civil war potentially, or whatever it is. But yeah, a lot of us are getting long in the tooth, but I believe September is going to be an action-packed month. So maybe let's do a check, on a pulse check on what you see going on around you on the ground, and on the wires and the intel and the whistleblowers coming through. Let us know where your head's at and what you're seeing.
Okay, well, it's it's non-stopping right now. So of course everyone knows that that RFK has now joined forces with Trump, which is a very good thing from our point of view, those of us who support Trump and who support these sort of platforms and principles that we're hoping to see roll out. Anti-censorship, of course, being one of the top ones. And then, Trump being something of a peacemaker, actually, so that even though we're on the verge of war on so many fronts, I think he is actually saying that he's going to end these situations that are going on, and he is very capable of that. So I think that we can really look forward to that when he is officially back in office, even though he won in 2020, and we know this. And I do want to address, as I mentioned, the blockchain vote issue, and I think that that's really crucial. So I'm just going to do a list right here. Other things to do with the so-called demonstrations, and a lot of volatility going on in certain European countries, and maybe even also in Africa, and the role that CERN is playing in triggering a lot of these things. So I think that this is something else that is worth looking at and talking about in terms of human frequencies and how we can be affected by the mind control and the various frequencies they're sending out, and the scalar weapons they're using, and how we can actually fight back on that. So those are a couple of topics that are sort of front and center for me. There are others, that if you want to bring them up, and then we can remember to talk about them. I'm also very focused, of course, on what some people may call Project Bluebeam, or what I call the fake real alien invasion, and what's really going on with that, which links up to adrenochrome and where that's going. So I think that's very important, also having to do with saving the children around the world, really. And so when people have ignorance in these topics, that's when the criminals get away with everything. So this is where we have to focus. And so those are a few topics that are front and center for me.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's very important what you mentioned, also the frequency, because that's the one area where they can still attack us, and they still have weapons that can affect our frequency. We're talking about 5G, EMP weapons, or and HARP, and who knows what else they have in their arsenal, but that there are still things under their control. And it is such a crucial time for us, because I feel like as we try and manifest this new era of peace, we kind of doing it from ourselves. So bringing down our frequency actually can affect how things unfold, and they know that. So they may not be able to make us too fearful, and I'm talking about the awake people here who know that their time is limited, but they can affect our frequency through other nefarious means, and we have to be very careful about that, and really take care of ourselves. So maybe talk a bit about that, and also how we can protect ourselves and fight back.
Right. So